You know, over half of people over 60 struggle with sleep, and it's not just about tossing and turning a few nights. For many, it's a deep, ongoing frustration lying in bed wide awake while the world around them sleeps soundly. I've been there too. I remember a period in my mid-40s when sleep felt like a distant memory. And what surprised me most wasn't just the exhaustion, it was how it slowly seeped into everything. I was more forgetful, my mood changed, even my heart felt heavier. But here's what I want to tell you, especially if you're over 60 and wondering if you'll ever sleep well again. You don't always need pills. That's right. Over the past 20 years as a physician, I've walked alongside hundreds of older patients, many of whom came to me thinking their only option was medication. Yet time and again, I've seen something different. When we make small, thoughtful changes to how we wind down, how we move through the day, and how we relate to our thoughts at night, real rest returns. And the beauty is, these changes aren't complicated. They're gentle, natural, and they work. So today, I want to share with you 4 simple, drug-free tricks that have truly helped my patients and even myself sleep better. No side effects, no dependency. Just deeper rest, night after night. If you've been lying awake, watching the clock tick past midnight, or waking up at 3 a.m. wondering what's wrong, please stay with me. These 4 tips might just change the way you sleep and feel in the years ahead. Let's begin. 1. Reset your body clock with morning light. One of the very first things I ask my older patients to do, and it might sound almost too simple, is to open the curtains every morning. Let the sunlight in. You see, as we age, our natural sleep rhythms, what we call the circadian rhythm, can become weaker. It's like the internal clock that tells your body when it's time to wake, and when it's time to rest, starts losing its batteries. And without strong signals to keep it in sync, everything begins to drift. That's why light matters so much, especially natural light. It's the most powerful tool we have to reset that clock each day. I remember a patient of mine, her name was Margaret. She was 72, a lovely woman with a sharp wit, but she came into my office looking worn down. "I just can't sleep anymore, doctor," she told me. "I'm in bed at 10, and I'm still wide awake at 2 in the morning." When I asked her about her daily habits, one thing stood out. She stayed indoors almost all day, curtains drawn, lights dim. Her days were gray, not just emotionally, but literally. So I gave her just one task to start. Each morning, open your blinds and sit by the window for 15 minutes. That's it. No special equipment, no medication, just light. She looked skeptical, but a week later she came back, her eyes brighter. "It's working," she said quietly. "I fell asleep before midnight 3 nights in a row. I even feel like I have more energy during the day." You see, even 15 minutes of soft morning sunlight can be more effective than over-the-counter melatonin pills. Because it speaks directly to your body's internal rhythm, telling it clearly, "It's morning now. You can wake up, and when night comes, you'll be ready to rest." And if you're thinking, "But what if it's cloudy or I can't go outside?" Don't worry. Sitting by a window still helps. Even filtered daylight is enough to send that gentle signal to your brain. Now, of course, this isn't magic. You won't go from restless to well-rested overnight, but give it a few days, even just a week, and you may begin to notice a change. You might start yawning at a normal time again. Your eyes may feel heavier by 10 p.m. instead of 2 a.m. Your sleep may become deeper, less broken. This small act of letting the light in can quietly restore something that felt lost. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your coffee or turn on the television, walk over to the window. Pull the curtains wide open. Let the morning greet your skin. Let your body remember what rhythm feels like. Sometimes, healing starts not with a pill, but with a sunrise. 2. Keep naps short and smart. Now, once we've helped your body recognize the morning light again, the next step is to take a gentle look at your daytime habits, especially napping. And let me say this with kindness. A long nap in the afternoon may feel like a reward, but for many people over 60, it's quietly robbing them of a full night's sleep. I've seen this pattern more times than I can count. Someone tells me, "Doc, I feel so tired during the day. I just lie down for a little while, but somehow I'm out for an hour, sometimes more. And then at night, they're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep won't come." What I gently remind them is this: a nap is not the enemy, but the way we nap matters. Think of it like this: your body has a limited amount of sleep pressure. That's the natural buildup of fatigue that helps you drift off at bedtime. But when you take a long nap in the afternoon, you release that pressure too soon. So by the time night comes, there's not enough left to pull you into deep rest. That's why I recommend what I call the Goldilocks nap: not too long, not too late. 20 to 30 minutes is just right. Long enough to refresh the mind, but not so long that it confuses the body. And timing is important too. Aim to nap before 2 p.m. If you nap too late in the day, it can throw off your internal rhythm, much like eating a big meal right before bedtime. I had a gentleman named Frank, 68 years old, who used to nap from 3 to 5 p.m. every day. He'd fall asleep in front of the television, wake up groggy, and then lie awake in bed until 1 a.m. We made one small change. He set an alarm for a 25-minute nap right after lunch. The difference? He started sleeping through the night again, not perfectly, but far better than before. And the science backs it up. Short naps can improve memory, lower stress, and boost energy. But once they pass the 30-minute mark, you risk slipping into deeper sleep stages and waking up feeling worse, not better. So if you're feeling drowsy during the day, that's okay. Your body's asking for a little recharge. But instead of diving into a 2-hour snooze, try this instead. Find a cozy chair, not your bed. Set a gentle alarm. Close your eyes. Let yourself drift just for a bit. And remember, a nap should be like a small sip of water, not a whole jug. Refreshing, not overwhelming. Because ultimately, the goal isn't just to sleep better at night, it's to feel more awake during the day. And sometimes, the key to a good night's sleep is learning how to rest just enough when the sun is still high. 3. Build a calming ritual to ease into sleep. Once your body has moved through the day, woken up with the sun, taken only a short nap if needed now, comes perhaps the most delicate part of the process: how you transition from day into night. Because here's something I've learned, not just from research, but from years of sitting across from patients who are tired but wired. The body cannot fall asleep if the mind is still racing. That's why I always ask, what do your last 30 minutes of the day look like? For many people, especially those living alone or retired, the hours before bed can become a blur watching the news until late, scrolling through the phone, worrying about tomorrow. The house gets quieter, but the mind gets louder. So I encourage something very simple. Create a small bedtime ritual, a gentle signal to your brain that it's time to let go. For some, that ritual might begin with a warm cup of chamomile tea. No caffeine, just a soft floral scent and the warmth of the mug in your hands. Then maybe a few pages of a light book, something comforting, not too stimulating. Or soft music, slow piano, rainfall, even an old jazz tune that reminds you of a better time. I remember one patient, her name was Helen, who began playing the same lullaby every night at 9:30. She'd tidy her nightstand, dim her bedside lamp to a warm golden hue, and sit quietly, breathing deeply for a few minutes. "It's like I'm tucking myself in," she told me, "the way I used to do for my kids." And there's something so powerful in that, in the predictability, the softness, the quiet message it sends to your nervous system. You're safe now, you can let go. You don't need a long list of steps. This doesn't have to become a performance. Just choose 2 or 3 small things that soothe you and do them in the same order, at the same time, each night. Light a candle, rub lotion on your hands, stretch gently, breathe. Let your bedroom become a place your body recognizes as peaceful. Not a second living room, not a workspace, but a true retreat. And pay attention to light. Harsh blue light from screens can disrupt your natural sleep hormones. So try turning off devices at least 30 minutes before bed. Switch to a soft bedside lamp. Let your eyes relax. Because often, the reason we can't sleep isn't that we're too awake, it's that we've never learned how to slow down. This bedtime ritual is your invitation, your way of saying, it's okay now, the day is done. And over time, your body will listen. It will begin to associate these small, loving actions with rest. And night by night, sleep will come more gently, more easily. After all, sleep is not something we chase, it's something we welcome, one soft habit at a time. 4. Write it down and leave it on the page. Now, if you've ever found yourself lying in bed with your eyes wide open, staring into the dark while your thoughts race like a train that won't stop, you are not alone. I've heard this from so many of my patients over the years. They do everything right, get their morning light, keep naps short, drink calming tea, turn off the screens, and still, sleep slips through their fingers. Why? Because while the body might be ready for rest, the mind is still carrying the weight of the day. And when that happens, one of the most powerful, underrated tools I recommend is this: write it down. Yes, I know it sounds simple, but I've seen it work again and again. If you find yourself overthinking, worrying, making mental to-do lists, replaying conversations, or feeling overwhelmed by things you can't control, take out a piece of paper, a notebook, anything, and write. Write down everything that's bothering you. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to make sense. You're not writing for someone else. You're writing to release, to empty your mind onto the page so that your bed can be a place for rest, not reflection. One patient of mine, a retired teacher named Robert, had tried nearly every sleep remedy in the book, but nothing stuck. I gently suggested he start journaling for 5 minutes each night. At first, he hesitated. "Doc, I'm not much of a writer," he told me. But he gave it a try. Just 5 minutes. Every evening before bed, he wrote about his day, his worries, his regrets, even his grocery list. 3 months later, he came back with a softness in his voice I hadn't heard before. "I don't know how to explain it," he said. "It's like I pour all the noise out, and what's left is silence, the kind that lets you sleep." That simple act became his nightly ritual, just like brushing his teeth or turning down the covers. A quiet way of saying to his brain, "You've done enough for today, you can rest now." There's something healing about giving your thoughts a place to go. A notebook doesn't argue, it doesn't judge, it simply receives and stays quiet. You can write about your fears, your family, what's weighing on your heart, or just one word that describes your day. And once it's on the page, leave it there. You've acknowledged it, you've made space for it. You don't have to carry it with you into the dark. Because peaceful sleep rarely comes to a restless mind. But when the heart feels heard, when the thoughts are set down like stones removed from a heavy backpack, rest becomes possible again. As I often say, a calm mind is the softest pillow. So tonight, before you turn out the light, open a page, pick up a pen, let the worries out, and let the quiet in. So here we are, dear friend. We've talked about the morning light that gently resets your inner clock, the kind, mindful way to nap without stealing rest from your nights, the calming rituals that ease your body into slumber, and finally, the power of simply writing it all down so your thoughts don't have to follow you under the covers. None of these require a prescription. They don't involve side effects or warnings on a label. They ask only for presence, for a bit of patience, and a willingness to care for yourself gently, intentionally, night after night. As someone who has spent over 2 decades walking alongside older adults on their journey toward better sleep and deeper peace, I want you to know, it's not too late. You haven't missed your chance to rest well. You're not broken. You're not just getting old. You're human, and you deserve sleep that feels healing, that carries you softly through the night, and leaves you ready to greet the day. If one of these ideas spoke to you, try it tonight, just one. See how it feels. Then try another tomorrow. Bit by bit, they'll start working together like quiet threads weaving the kind of sleep you've been missing. And if these tips help you even a little, I'd love for you to share them. Maybe with a spouse, a friend, a neighbor who's been sighing about another long night. Because good sleep is something we all need, and something we can offer each other through simple kindness and shared wisdom. I'm Dr. Sarah Bennett. Thank you for letting me into your evening. If you'd like to keep walking with me on this path toward better aging, better sleep, and better days, be sure to subscribe and click the little bell so you don't miss what comes next. Now take a breath, let your shoulders drop, let the quiet come. I'll see you soon. Sleep well.